really nice to have all the timbers you need for one function or one job. I don't know, how the hell am I supposed to say that right? But anyway, so I need 4 more queen posts for the western side of the building. We're gonna wait for the next loud vehicle to pass. Not even gonna swear at it. Thank you, have a good evening. Better, right? That's better? I think so. But anyway, so I need 4 more queen posts on the western side of the building. I have the rest of the queen posts sitting here for everything. But those 4 queen posts are all going to get cut exactly the same. Remember our rules of thumb on these 8x8 timber tenon is the thickness of the tenon is 1/4 inch the thickness of the timber. So we're going to have a 2-inch tenon on here. Now, this tenon isn't going to be on a tension load, so I don't need as much relish. So I'm only making a 5-inch tenon on this, and that'll give me about 2.5 inches of relish by the time we're said and done. But that purlin plate that's going to sit on top of these queen posts, the load's going to be pushing it down onto the post. So I'm not worried about that thing coming apart, so I'm not worried about a tension load on it. Whereas, say, my wall posts that you see here, where we had the big through tenon on it, that's a tension load. So that had to be a big tenon with a lot of relish on it. So that tenon goes all the way through the 10x10 wall posts. Now, I did not need to do a through tenon on the queen posts where the tine members are going to go into it, but I did that because I did that for aesthetics, because I'm going to have the tenons are real long, almost Dutch style tenons sticking out of it, and I just really like the looks, but they won't be wedged on the outside of them. They're going to be pinned just like the rest of it with pegs. So anyway, first things first, I've got all 4 of them here. I want to get one end good and square on all 4 of them, but before I do that, I want to look these timbers over. I want to see where the problem spots are. I know what my reference faces are in a couple of them. We covered that the other night, but I want to go through the ones I have laid out right now and just check reference faces, what looks best. We'll get that marked out, and we're going to get going on it. Tell you what, there's nothing better when you can get 3 sides that are perfectly square to each other. Because then you have 2. See, now that one's a little bit off. A little bit off. Perfect. Perfect. This side is way off, but this side, this face and that face are good. Let's just roll this over. Boy, these are green and heavy, I'll tell you that. A little bit of mud to deal with frozen on this one. The Amish aren't the best on keeping things out of the mud. Huh. Wow. That one is off. Wicked. That's off 1/8 of an inch over 8 inches. That side's off. Let's see, let's roll it. I mean, you could deal with that. It is definitely doable, but it's not ideal. Alright, so this guy is going to be a reference face on this one. This one's not as good as they've been coming out. But that's why why we're using square rule here. Always keep that in mind. So we'll use this side. It's nice if you're going to lay them all out the same. So say you've got a stack of timbers you want to lay out. You want to cut a bunch of them at once. You want to lay a bunch of them out at once. It's a good idea to get them all going the same direction. Get all your reference faces facing the same way. It's just going to make your life a lot easier at the end of it. You're less apt to make a mistake that way. So we got them all our reference faces facing the same way. Next thing I want to do, I want to cut all these to length. So I want to start with a good square end. So I'm just going to pick an end. I'm just going to square it off. Now something I don't like here, now as I'm looking these over, I'm looking to see what kind of obstacles in the timber itself that I have to get around. I got a big nasty ass cluster of knots right here. A really good cluster of knots. I do not like that. In fact, I really don't even want to cut tenon into that end. But this timber is 12 feet 9 inches long. I need it 10 feet 5 inches. What I ultimately I'm going to need. So I should be able to cut that cluster right off of there. Let's see. So say I turn this one down to 10 feet 9 on this end. That'll leave me enough room to square the other end. That will pretty well get me that knot right out of there. Okay, this timber here, this is a good long one. It would be good as a purlin plate, except for the heartwood's way over here. It's not in that center. Now remember what I said before, is this thing dries and checks. Now granted, pine doesn't do as much checking as a lot of other stuff. The moisture content in it isn't as high as like your oaks or your hemlock. But even that, if this thing checks through here, a lot of times it may have a tendency to go all the way to the heartwood. Because that sapwood will check, because that is a very moist part. So that sapwood, it'll check all the way to that heartwood, and that heartwood stops it from going through to the other side. And so you think about it, when your heartwood's all the way over here, and that thing goes to check, and that heartwood's not boxed, you are just about splitting that thing right down the middle. And that's what you want to watch for. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's the whole reasoning for boxing the heartwood. This one they did a pretty good job. The heartwood's right there, so that's actually a really good job. This one they did all right on too. The heartwood's right around in there. This guy over here, the heartwood's about centered there. So they did much better on this batch than they did on the last batch, but we still have to, like I said, we still have to account for some of this. So I'm going to go through, we're going to get all these marked. I'm going to trim one end, and then we'll take her out of time lapse when it's time to do a little more layout.
Woke up outside in the rain today. Not a clue to where or how. Woke up alone, feeling blue today. What on earth do I do now? What on earth do I do now? Stole some quotes of a line somewhere. Didn't know what else to do. But out on the back porch with the most striking blue, what on earth will she do now? What on earth will she do now? the coffee's on and French bread is baked brand new. You look like you could use some chow. And since you're standing out here anyhow, what on earth do we do now? What on earth do we do now? What on earth do we do now? Now that we've found this thing somehow. And if the heavens will allow, what on earth do we do now? What on earth do we do now? What on earth do we do now?
Well, we had an excellent day here today for progress. Only have 4 more queen posts after these ones are done. Got a good start on getting these well on their way. It's been a long day. I've been going, well, it's 11 o'clock now. I left the house at 9 o'clock this morning to start getting these timbers home and all that good stuff. You can see my truck's full for a dump run, so got to do that. Got to find a new tailgate for that thing. The guy loaded the sheet metal there. He destroyed it. Felt bad for him. He felt terrible, so couldn't even bring myself to get mad at the guy. But other than that, truck's still beautiful. I love that truck. But anyway, we're going to keep plugging away. Hopefully we get a lot done this week. I don't take many vacations from my job, so this is kind of usually only once a year. So this is kind of a nice thing for me to be able to maybe play catch up a little bit on this project. And we're just so close now. It is time to do it. I've got a lot more, so 21 more siding boards on the truck to go on. That'll finish off this one long side, this western side. We'll start getting some on the back, and the next time out I should be able, hopefully, I'm hoping to get the rest of it, but the last money I gave the sawmill, the Amish, was mostly for 8x8s, and I'm still going to need some more come next month, but I've got a pretty good start. I've got 4 purlin plates already. We've got all the queen posts. I'm going to need 2 more tying members. I'm probably going to be heading back up soon to haul more logs home that I have down south of here. So hopefully the weather's turning. I've got to hit that place. It's got to be kind of dry and the ground's got to be solid, because that's pretty low laying woods. It's really swampy in there. So the winter time, where that place is, they get snow by 3 or 4 foot in a dropping. So where that place is, I can't really get in there in the wintertime. Can't get in there in early spring, and late fall is a little bit out of the question. So the window for me to get in there is pretty narrow, especially come summertime when I'm haying here. Pretty much I have maybe a 2 or 3 week window during the year where I can get into that place and actually get my logs out. But I have found another source of logs up north of here. I think a lot of red cedar, I'm told, in there, a lot of white pine, and a lot of hardwoods. I guess it's a huge tract of forest a guy owns, and he doesn't mind selling some here and there. Probably helps with the property taxes. But anyway, my back's getting a little sore tonight. That's when I know it's it's funny when you're not wrestling on the timbers steadily, your body hurts a little bit. It's more the being bent down. The lugging doesn't bother, but I'm tall, so I'm 6'2", so bending down just right, oh, that just puts me on the floor. But anyway, rambling on. Once again, always rambling on here, always yakking at you. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I will catch you on the next one.